Welcome to WKRP Montrose, a radio station masquerading as a podcast about Montrose, Colorado, and the Western Slope.
All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of WKRP Montrose. We are back from the break that you never knew that we took.
Yeah.
We were out for Thanksgiving, but we're back now, and we've got a unique day today.
Yeah.
I think
We've had a good day.
we've had a really good day.
Yeah.
There's some cool things coming. So I guess we're going to call it season 2.
Yeah.
Starting in January,
Right.
where we've got some exciting announcements to come.
I mean, exciting for us, more so than them,
Well, why would you think that it wouldn't be exciting for them?
because they're not getting any of the money.
Well, okay. So what he's alluding to is the fact that we completely sold out and we sold the naming rights to the studio. But we're really excited about the partner that's going to come on.
Yeah.
That bought the naming rights.
Yep.
And they've got some really fun ideas for different content for us to do. There'll be more on sites.
Yep.
You're going to see us more out in public, which that could be dangerous. But no, it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Me too. Speaking of sponsors, though,
Yeah.
our long-standing
Sponsor.
libation sponsor is
Yeah.
Pomona, and they've once again come up with the goods.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pour myself a drink.
Yeah, I can hear the dryness in your mouth.
know,
So I think you should pour it.
I've been
I noticed that
savoring
you still
this
have
for a
your
while.
jingle bells. You're
Yeah.
feeling seasonal. Yeah. Okay. Well, don't make noises we don't need.
So, I'm going to have a beer. Do you want some beer?
Yeah, I would like a beer, and our guests would probably like a beer.
Pomona's.
Yes, please.
Are you going to ask me what today's episode?
Well, this is the thing. This is
Yeah.
why it's a good day too.
Yeah.
Because what is the overarching theme of today's episode?
You know, everybody enjoys. I don't like people telling me what to do, especially not you.
So what
I really can't stand it when you try to tell me what to do.
What do you like?
I mean, I like a little bit of freedom is what I like. I like a lot of freedom.
That freedom is right.
Yeah, I mean, it's
exactly.
it sounds good when
Here's
you
the
say
thing.
it.
That sound effect,
Yeah.
that's for you.
Oh, is that for me?
I like a different kind of freedom.
What kind of freedom do you like?
Why don't you tell the people?
I mean,
that's my kind of freedom.
I think you fancy yourself the
I'd have done a better Scottish accent.
I feel like you're more the guy on the other side of the field that's trying to, keep the freedom from happening.
How dare you?
I mean, it's what I feel like. Anyway, okay.
Well, so
listen.
the freedom, the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Is we're free to
Who?
do things.
Me?
We, you, all
I
of
do
us.
whatever I want to
We're-
do.
We're free to not like things.
Yeah.
We're free to.
I don't like most of what you do.
Absolutely. You know what else we're free to do?
What's
we're
that?
free to participate in things
Yes.
like
A podcast.
and
Christmas
parades,
Yeah.
all that
Oh,
kind
okay.
of stuff.
Yeah. All right.
And that really smooth segue leads us
To our guest.
so smoothly to our guest. Claire. Hello.
Hi, Claire.
Hi.
Do you like?
Where's my beer?
Do you like freedom, Claire?
What does she
Was
like?
that
What does she
a
like? What?
empty offer?
Do you like freedom, Claire?
I do.
You're free to have a beer. Would you like some?
Yes, I
Absolutely.
And have a guess how much this beer is going to cost you.
How much?
Nothing, because it's free.
That's awesome.
I can't do the soundbite
Can you
fast
tell
enough
me
to do
again
free.
whose beer it is?
This is from Pomona Brewing, and it's their Dusty Amber.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like Pomona, but
Okay.
drinks. Okay, thank you.
So
Do we share?
you know what? I didn't.
There's plenty to go around.
It's definitely a new season. I forgot to bring Claire up on the screen. now you're up on the screen, Claire. But you've got your beer, so you guys were hearing
Pomona
her, just
beer.
not seeing her. Claire, thanks for joining us. We're excited to have you. We were now before the and we're only going to talk about this for a minute because there's so much other. You saw my list of things that I wanted to talk
You've
to.
been taking notes.
Yeah.
all
Have you
day.
made a list, and how many times have you
I've
checked
checked
that
it at least twice.
Oh.
I've checked it at least twice.
All right.
But so we'll just touch on it quickly, right?
The elephant in the room.
The elephant
as
in the
it
room.
were.
So there was this conversation going on about Krampus in the parade. And I feel like there was a lot of hullabaloo. Mountain,
much ado about nothing.
Ugh.
A storm in a teacup.
Yeah.
Mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah, some of those things.
All that stuff.
So, and it was even made more like obvious to me as I was sitting down watching a new movie that came out called Red One with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, because I'm a big Rock fan.
Me too.
Isn't he just Dwayne Johnson now?
No, he's The Rock. He's
He'll
Dwayne
always
The
be
Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah, he's never going to be able to live that moniker down. So in the movie, Krampus is in the movie. Indeed. And he actually is what I would call an anti-hero. But he's a really funny character in the movie as well. And that brought up my wife asking me, had I heard everything about what was going on? And so I want to talk about your store, and I want to talk about the fact that we came to you before you came here today and all of this happened.
That's
we
right.
came to you really excited to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I still have my card
Yep.
that you gave me.
And this is true. You guys.
Well, you
were
didn't
out
give me. I
front.
picked it, right?
Yeah.
You picked it,
Right.
But you were outside my shop. And
Yeah.
Maybe we were loitering.
Yes, you were loitering.
Loitering, yeah.
But I do have a bench for people to loiter
But
on.
we've also met before, 2
Correct.
years ago or so, I would guess, when I ran Wayfinder magazine and we did a
Yes.
story about it. And, there was no shock horror. Nobody
Right.
was
Not then.
horrified.
No.
So, but yes, we came to you before the Christmas parade,
Right.
and we you know what? We'll have Claire on the podcast because, well, one, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Anyone can come on.
Yeah.
You have a slightly more interesting story, perhaps, than some other people. But I guess that's not for us. That's for the listeners.
For the
to
listener to
determine
decide.
at the end of this episode. But
let's get into it. So
right.
so
Hit me with it.
Claire, how did you end up in Montrose? How did you get here? And then we're going to talk about the witch shop, but we want to talk about you first. So how did you get to Montrose?
Okay, so
on a broomstick, I presume.
that's what I was just going to say. And in fact, I do carry that as a spare in my Camaro.
There you go.
If shit goes down on the highway, I've got
Yeah.
You've got
a spare ride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
But I moved to Montrose in 2005, so I've been here almost 20 years. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I moved down here because my son and his father had already previously moved here.
Okay.
And so it was just, I'm ready to come down now. And I came down and,
Where's down from?
the Front Range. I was born in Longmont, moved to different places
Yeah.
up there, Fort Collins, Greeley, all those different fun
Okay. 'Cause-
college towns. And
Yeah.
then directly from Fort Collins to Montrose.
So
in
from
2005.
from fake Front Range, Colorado to real deal, Colorado, right?
Real deal.
All right.
and not from like say Kansas or Salem.
Yeah.
To
No, not the Emerald City.
No.
Okay.
no.
I visit the Emerald City, and I will pull back the curtain and reveal what's really behind there.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
See? See,
You
it's-
remind
it's fun.
you could be the Wizard of Oz. I could see you being the Wizard of Oz.
That is, I don't know if you meant that as a compliment, but I'm taking it as one.
We'll leave it like that, right? Has anybody seen Wicked yet? Have you seen Wicked?
I tried.
Yeah.
They were sold out by the time
Yeah.
I got there for.
It's been a
the
big deal.
premiere night, and
What I really like about Wicked is the fact that people have been standing up, like in theaters,
Yeah.
telling people to shut up and not sing because they're there to see, who is it? Ariana Grande or somebody?
Yeah.
Probably.
And
Who is it?
Cynthia,
To-
I'm not going to try to pronounce her last
sing,
name. Yeah.
Not have these hordes of teenage girls singing the songs from Wicked, which I think is funny.
Okay. So you made your way over from the Front Range,
right.
came here 20 years ago.
Yep.
That seems impossible. Is that
Looking back now, yeah.
is that witchcraft that keeps you
Yes.
young? Yeah.
I
Okay.
get that all the time. You
Yeah.
do not look 50.
Okay. Well, I wasn't never going to ask somebody their age, but there you go.
I am proud to say.
So, all right. But
what-
you say you're a 7th generation hereditary witch.
Yes.
I had to look this up. Do you want to tell people what that is?
So my gifts and abilities come more dominantly on my mother's side, 7 generations back.
Okay.
That my mother has even researched back
Okay.
to.
So that's the way that I understood it. A hereditary witch means that you're born with your capabilities.
Correct.
Okay. And so now I'm getting itchy and antsy on my seat because
And so that comes with a huge trunk.
it's like literally.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
A huge trunk of all of the valuables, the Book of Shadows, the grimoires, the wands, the cauldrons,
Oh.
just They brought that trunk
Wait, how
over
does a cauldron fit in a trunk?
It's a big trunk.
Okay.
And it's a tiny cauldron.
It's a tiny cauldron.
This big.
Okay.
But let me ask you a question, though, about misconceptions about what people think that you do. Because, I mean, what is it?
What do I do?
What is a witch? Because we have this perception of what that is now. And whether you believe in abilities, the occult, witchcraft, and any,
Sorcery.
There are misconceptions, right?
Are you
Correct.
getting?
Because you drive a Camaro. So,
Yeah, don't
we're
all
not.
witches?
Right. But, so, you don't have a black pointy hat on. So,
I should have.
you should have brought you should
Wore
have,
that
yeah.
in here.
But give us some
Well, you
ideas
also have a
about-
white pointy witch hat too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my Christmas one.
Okay. See.
So give us
Christmas. Did you hear?
Yeah. No.
Lightning
We're
did
gonna
not go off.
Well, yeah,
in
No,
the
we're
gonna-
studio.
no,
Don't
we're
worry
gonna
about
ta- we're
that.
gonna talk
words
about it.
coming out of my mouth.
Exactly, right.
We're
So-
coming back to it. We're coming back to it.
Yes, the point is,
Point as in point of my hat.
There are misconceptions, right? I mean, when you talk about abilities and
Yes.
tarot card reading and things like that, what do you consider to be your abilities?
Clairvoyance. I
Okay.
see clearly, and such as the tarot cards.
Right.
It's a tool that triggers my gift to open up, so that we all have the same psychic senses
Yeah.
that we all wrap into one word calling intuition, or you can call it guidance from God. I don't care.
Right.
But then when you have focused in on an ability such as clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, clear sentience, clear smelling, that are like scents that are not in the room. Nobody's smoking a cigar, but you smell it.
Right.
You focus in on that ability, and some people can do that with a tool to hone in on that.
Right.
So I have the gift, but I also then use the tarot cards and crystal ball as a means to open up during a certain time if people want a reading. Now I lost my train of thought.
Well, the question was
Yeah.
like, what is a witch?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we
what-
went into divination.
and
Yeah.
and what what are your particular set of
So
skills?
to me, the
But
word
there's-
witch means just a wise one.
Okay.
Healer.
Right.
Because there's been, if we go back to the entertainment side of things, right? Like who are the most famous witches that you can think of?
Hogwarts.
Okay,
Harry Potter.
Hermione,
Yes.
Hermione. How do you
Well, the
pronounce
first
it?
one that always comes
Hermione.
to people's mind is the Wicked Witch of the...
The West.
The
Okay,
West.
but then there's Gilda or Glinda. Glinda, right?
Yeah.
She was the
I
good
mean,
witch.
Good witch.
Right?
Gandalf
Okay.
is a
he's a wizard, right?
Technically wizard, but I mean it's all the same. It's just. Do you think witches now have had just some bad marketing?
Bad rap?
In
We've
some
gotten really
sense?
bad marketing, and I
Yeah.
probably don't always help that marketing.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. Everybody knows Wanda Maximoff now. Like everybody knows the Red Witch. Do they not?
I mean, if you're a Marvel,
I guess she got a bad rap later in the
in the
series.
yeah.
But
But I guess that's the thing. It's some people like to complain. Okay, first and foremost.
I think I know one.
Some people like to just expound their views on
Yes.
Facebook.
Yes.
And they like to say things.
I think
that
I know
that
one.
they wouldn't say in real life. Oh, I'll say it in real life.
Oh, that's true too.
But again, the same people who will complain about certain aspects of this will take their kids to see Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They will go and see Wicked.
Yeah.
They
Yes.
will indulge in certain aspects of this whole realm.
Okay, fair enough.
They
I don't
will
want to.
partake in rituals
Right.
that are acceptable for them
Right.
in their churches, in their homes.
Right. It's
But
just
it's-
just a matter of perspective, right? How you look
It's
at
a matter of
something. Yeah.
perspective and the idea of exploring what they want to experience.
Yeah.
Is there? I'm going to ask a more direct question. Is there anything to be afraid of when you come into the witch shop? Now I'm nervous because I remember
No, there's
when we went
nothing.
in.
No.
I remember when we went in.
Oh, yeah.
Rob is not a believer. I am a believer.
I was scared of those dolls.
Oh,
I-
those
everybody's
are
scared of the
looking, I will
dolls.
admit,
They're
yes.
scary looking.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I don't know if I would have the courage to spend like a night in the shop. You know,
Yeah?
like Night at the Museum.
Oh, man.
I couldn't do that because those dolls would be looking at me all night.
Yeah.
Freak me out.
Now
Yeah,
I feel
those
like
dolls are something that people do.
Yeah.
we have an
question.
episode.
Like ghost hunters. Like
a little bit.
I don't know. I'd be too scared to do that. But
We get like the black light, or not the black light, but the night vision.
Yeah.
We have you in there with the night vision on. I think it would be great.
I don't think so.
No, it's not going to happen.
But
Okay.
but to Dennis's question, you know,
There's nothing to be afraid or scared of. If
Right.
you're walking into my shop afraid, that is something that is already
right
with you.
You're bringing it with you.
You're bringing it with you.
Yeah.
And you're most of the time people walk in and some way, somehow those fears are relieved.
Right.
And they leave it feeling lighter.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important. Go in to the shop.
Yeah.
Go and speak to Claire, but go and have a look around. You know, it's you can't. I don't think you can have a real opinion on this unless you at least engage a little bit, ask some questions, and that's kind of what we're hoping to do here as well. Is give people a little insight, and then if they want to follow up and figure it out and ask some questions, then they can do that too. But
So what's the everyday day life of a witch like? Is it
I need to
good
hire
or
someone
better
to keep
than
my
a
brooms
non-witch?
in order and the hats dusted.
Yeah. Do you have the cat too?
Yes.
Is it just
too
one?
Many,
Oh,
too many. I'm crossing
never
that
have too
line
many
from
cats.
witch to crazy cat lady.
that's not a bad line to cross. You can go, you know, skirt both of those. You can be a crazy cat witch.
What do
crazy
you
cat
what do you
witch.
call the crazy cat guy?
I don't know.
Because I could see you being a crazy cat guy.
I mean, if you mean the compassion I have for animals,
Oh, is that
I
what it
might,
is?
I might end up rescuing lots of
Yeah.
cats. Then you can call me
Yeah.
that if you want. If you want to insult me
Yeah.
for being caring, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I think I will.
Yeah.
I have had a customer come in and say, I wouldn't trust you as a witch
Oh,
if
oh,
I
really?
didn't know you had a cat.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
How did you did a witch's night out, or witches?
Well, you've done
I
it for a
u-
few years now.
okay, well, and there's where some confusion happens. So let me clear
Okay.
that up.
Okay.
So I was doing every new moon a witch's night out.
Okay.
And then the
How often does the
Darling
new moon
Days.
happen? I don't even. So how do you? Is that like the
So
full
every
moon?
2 weeks you've got a
new
new
moon.
moon.
Okay.
And then a full moon. And we just had the full moon
Okay.
Sunday.
Yes.
So I had been doing that for a while. And then
And then there's like the super moon and like the red
all
moon.
that. But Witch's Night Out. I was
Okay,
doing
got it.
Witch's
Oh,
Night
sorry,
Out
yeah.
once a month, at least once a month when the new moon came,
Mm-hmm.
and being open later hours at my shop
Okay.
where I'm located now.
Okay.
And then the Darling Dames of Colorado. They're a pinup club in town. Wanted to do a whole thing on Main Street, and they've moved it now down to Cerise Park, and they have the title Witch's Night Out also.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's been some
Has there been-
overlapping where people think that's me, and it's not.
Is there like a turf war for like who?
Oh.
I mean, who's got the
Not radio airspace, but airspace for
what do they call
witches on their brooms that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do they call a group of witches? What is it called?
A coven.
A coven. Whose coven is stronger? Oh.
Don't get involved. You don't want to go down that road.
I mean,
But
I
let's-
might.
I do want to talk a little
Yeah.
bit more about you though, because the thing that's important, right, is
We're gonna go back to Claire.
well, I don't want to. Yeah, you're not defined by this. It's a part of your
Right.
life, and it might be a big part of your life. But you know, like you said, you have a Camaro. You have to pay bills. I'm assuming. You know, do you have any other? Do you have a day job, as it were, another job, or do you just run the shop?
What I'm doing right now is shop full time.
Okay.
So I'm also a private home care provider,
Okay.
and I primarily work with those who are on hospice.
Right.
So what is socially acceptable would be to say that I'm a death doula.
Right.
But it's also come down from my family the words a death witch.
Right.
Well, that's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't promote it as that, but I do the home health care.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. My shop was shut down, kind of, sort of, for practically the entire year. It was May 1st that
Yeah.
I had to go full time with a private client that was needing more and more and more care.
Oh, right.
And then he decided to change his permanent residency to heaven.
Okay.
That's an
Okay.
interesting way of putting that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then
I went.
went back to the shop.
full time now,
Okay.
and things are going well.
Okay.
I've had a lot of people come to me that have requested, not necessarily give up the home health, the private duty stuff,
Right.
but they really want me to do the shop full time,
Right.
and how can I see if it's successful
Right.
or not
Right,
if I
unless
don't
you-
do that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm. October 1st, I was like, this is it.
All right.
So is the shop
Full-time.
open? What hours of the day are the shop open?
For holiday hours right now, Monday
Okay.
through Friday,
Okay.
10 to 6.
Okay.
Saturdays, noon to 6.
Okay.
Close Sundays.
And what's the exact address?
14 North Townsend.
Okay.
When is the witching hour?
The witching hour is whenever I'm there.
I don't even
Wow.
know. I know about happy hour. I don't know about
Yeah.
witching hour.
Well, that's a
they
thing,
overlap
right?
too.
Isn't it called the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour is,
Is like
you can consider it midnight or between 2 and 4 a.m. And the reason they say the witching hour is that goes back to when the veil is the thinnest repeatedly every night. Just like they say the veil is the thinnest at Halloween.
Right.
So a lot of people will be waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. because that's when your higher self, your angels, your guides, all of your team on the other side can communicate more easily with you.
I've heard that phrase a lot recently, either through my daughter and other people that are like life coaches, that you have your team. And at first I was like taking that as literal. Well, maybe I should take it as literal, but I was thinking that there was a physical person that was a part of their team. And I didn't understand that sometimes that also is like astrophysical, I guess I'll say. Is that the right way to say it?
Sure.
Like-
That's a great way to explain it.
But Rob is giving me this look. I'm being dead serious.
Oh, I know you are.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
why I'm looking at you this way. This is not one of those I'm serious podcasts.
Well, but I'm saying from the idea of getting like to know you better, right? So in part you've been doing the shop, and in part you've been assisting with the people passaging into the next phase of their life, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
So for whatever your beliefs are, if it's a new residency, if
Permanent.
it's yeah. So
I love that.
Right.
Change this permanent residence to heaven.
okay.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that's an emotional thing to be able to be there with somebody.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I can't even, I actually don't want to go into that because like I have some things.
Being able to, part of my abilities are to connect with that other side. So it's an incredible experience to be there as they transition and they're still there, but not in the body. So it's amazing. But anyways, that's not what we're here for.
Well,
Neither
I mean,
of you
in
are
a little
going
bit
over
because
anytime
it's
soon.
part of you.
Yeah.
I know that my wife and my daughter believe in like auras and
True.
and believe that they can feel the energy of people that are no longer with us physically. I again, Rob is not a believer.
Well,
I'm a semi-believer. I'm a believer in the fact
it's
that.
a nice idea.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, just because I don't necessarily believe something doesn't mean I don't want it to be true.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I hope there is an afterlife
Yeah.
where you get to see all of your loved ones. I don't think there is, but I hope there is. I mean, if I don't believe, I guess I'm going downstairs. If that stuff is real. But I want it to, but I want it to be true. That's the thing. It's not, people who don't believe in that kind of stuff don't not believe and don't want it to be true.
Yeah.
I want it to be true. I just don't think it is.
So at what point did you realize that you had abilities or that you could
How does that get broken into as a
divinate?
child?
Okay.
Divinate? Is that the right verb?
You can use that.
Yeah.
Divinate?
Let him, honestly, it's as good as it's going to get with him.
Brief
so.
background.
Yeah.
I only remember 2 homes from childhood. So I was born while my parents lived in an apartment. Very shortly after that, they moved into a house that I lived in until I was about 4 or 5. And I have very vivid memories starting at age 2 because at age 2 is when my brother was born. And then 2 years later, we moved to where my parents still to this day live. My parents live, and was basically raised in a house built in 1885 that had numerous deaths in the home. So it was not discouraged, and it wasn't necessarily encouraged.
Right.
My parents had to determine what is imagination and what is actually happening.
Oh.
And because my parents both also have their individual gifts, they were able to help raise me to where it's normal, but you don't want to go around having a conversation with someone who's not there.
Right.
Got it.
Okay. And then when I was in elementary school, my parents gifted me, they bought as a gift my first tarot deck. And so I just started learning.
Okay.
That's a whole nother level of parenting, though. Like,
Why do you?
Well,
you still have to do the regular stuff, right? And you have to have this additional layer of helping your child, navigate this.
Yeah.
They
put me in the room that had the most recent death, which was some kid was on the football team and they weren't wearing helmets back in that day. And he got a concussion and
died after
and
it?
just, yep.
Didn't make it.
Didn't make it through that night.
Oh,
And
no.
so there's been different times throughout my childhood. His name was Acton. A-N-C-T-O-N, whatever. But we chilled. That was cool.
You were hanging out with Acton after the fact.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
This episode's going to get some hits.
Did the room get chillier?
Yeah.
I'm not I feel like it didn't.
You know what? I really should have had the control for the AC.
And make it colder? Yeah, you
What a
should have thought
missed
about
opportunity.
that. Well, I want to say, so when we came in the
Okay.
store, this actually got me. So you had us pick a card.
That's right.
It wasn't, you didn't hand it to us, but you
Nope.
had us pick a card.
Yeah, we both picked one.
And mine said, where am I called to use my voice right now?
And you got the mic.
You're reading that out on a podcast.
And I'm reading
Yeah.
it on a podcast. It says, and I really liked what this is. It says, you have a soul script that was written to be spoken. Your story matters, and it's time for you to share it with the world. So I want to say,
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is that the actual one, or did you?
No, that's the one.
Did you write that yourself?
No, I didn't write
that
it
seems
myself.
too appropriate.
Okay, well, it says share your story.
Exactly.
But here's the thing that I really like. It says share your story with at least one person today. Be brave and speak your truth. Your voice will be the catalyst for healing in others. And so I just want to I want to throw that out there that was my experience in coming to the witch shop, was you asking me to draw this card. I got this card. And as somebody who I feel like, and one of the reasons why I wanted to be on this podcast, WKRP, We Know Real People, was being able to connect with people and being able to talk to them, have them here and tell their stories, and just not be afraid of getting out there and putting myself out there, having other people to come on the show and put themselves out there.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really, really honest, a little creepy, because it
Exactly.
felt accurate, and it felt magical in that moment. But also, I don't think that a lot of people would think that was the experience that they would get at your witch shop.
Exactly. And
So-
those cards that I have available for whether you come in to pay and buy something or not, if you walk in my shop, I offer those cards for you to draw.
And then you also,
How many decks do you have?
But
'Cause
but then I'll say you also had the very creepy doll that was up in the top
That's
corner.
right. She was keeping an eye on you.
And said that she's been known when certain energy comes in to move or to fall off the shelf.
Ariel,
Yeah.
she will fall. That's why right now her box is kept closed.
I'd have ran out of that place.
Because
I'd have sprinted out of
I
there.
was
falls
kept,
down.
yeah, I kept waiting for her to fall. I was like, anyway, all right.
No, she goes after people that are not
So there's all
They're
kinds
on-
of different
nice.
She goes
experiences.
after people on the naughty lists.
on the
Can I
naughty
just?
list.
I want to say one
Yeah.
thing. I'm going to be devil's advocate.
All right.
That card
Yeah.
is, yes, it's somewhat appropriate.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing.
Sure.
So the devil's advocate part is
Yeah.
you want that to be true, right? You know what I mean?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you read it and you go, I like that. So I'm gonna own it. if you'd have picked a card that said something not so nice,
right,
would you have said, "Oh well, the cards never lie," or would you have gone, "This whole thing is hokum"?
I would have no.
You know,
I easily could have got a card that could have talked about a part of my past where I wasn't so nice. I think I would be okay sharing that.
Well, I don't know that you could have, because that's not what I'm saying. It's not your call.
Well, it's not where I'm at.
Can you give us an example of a card that might say something that isn't as complimentary? You know, I mean,
so that deck of cards is all the same type.
Right.
It'll ask you a personal question.
Right.
And on the back, give you some soul homework. I have had, I've had people come in and just, my life is so hard. And then story after story after story of it's, you know, this happened. And it's just nonstop. My life is horrible. It's so hard. Oh
a dumpster fire.
My life is a dumpster fire. Okay. Would you like to pick a card before you leave? And the card, 9 times out of 10 drawn, because I replenish that deck in the different places. What if it was easy?
Right. Okay.
And her response, I was like, yes, perfect card, because that's
that's the card she drew. What if it was easy?
What if it was easy?
Okay.
Right.
And immediately out of their mouth, well, if it was easy, then I'm like, okay, she's not ready. She's not ready.
Yeah. I don't remember mine. I actually have 2 because I still have the one from about 2 years ago.
And it's probably a different deck.
I'm gonna look at both of them when I get back, and I'll share them.
Okay.
Because I remember reading mine and thinking it was somewhat
we'll
accurate or nice, you know.
We'll get Rob to share it on the Facebook page and the Instagram account so you guys can see it there. Well, let's go back to you, Claire, because I mean we just made it a little bit about me. That's okay.
Yeah, I love making it about you guys.
I don't. The listeners don't like it.
They don't care.
They care about you.
They hate it. They actually hate it when we.
They're like, oh, it's another Dennis episode. Next.
Yes, that's
the banter is great.
True. Yeah. Go on.
So,
what else you got?
What's next planned for the Witch Shop? Because I think people will be surprised what the next event that's coming up is.
So
and it was planned and advertised well before the whole thing. So
yes, okay. So upcoming events right now.
Yeah.
This Saturday, which is known as the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year. It's typically on the 21st, but it can vary. But it happens. The 21st happens to fall on Saturday, and I actually have the real Santa coming to my shop.
There we go.
Santa Claus.
The Santa Claus.
And I say that because he is the one that was in the parade.
Oh, okay. That guy. When you say the real one.
Yeah, the real one.
Oh, I thought you meant,
the city isn't going to...
The real one.
Yeah, Montrose is not going to bring in for their parade some doofus in a costume.
No, of course not. They would never do that.
No.
So the Santa.
They shipped him in from... I don't know.
North Pole.
Lapland.
You should go see that movie, Red One. It's really cool anyway. It's really creative.
We're back on the movie. So
No. Let's talk about Santa.
Well, that's what we're saying. Yeah.
So even before, there's a whole story. So I wanted Santa to come down to my shop to do a meet and greet.
Why?
Because I love Santa.
Okay. Are you allowed? I'm just kidding.
That is a great question, though.
Because he's wholesome and pure.
Santa's Christmas. He's not witchcraft. Well,
right.
Christmas is Christmas. December
let's go back.
December.
We can go back to Christmas.
And I love Coca-Cola.
The whole, exactly. But the reason we have trees in our houses, all paganism,
But I think a lot of people would...
You're welcome, by the way. My ancestors.
Right.
We started all this stuff.
You're welcome.
All the paganism?
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Bringing trees into your house. What kind of maniac does that? Well, now everybody does it. But the whole point of Santa at your shop.
My story. Yeah. So Santa, I asked him to come to the shop and do a meet and greet. And we scheduled the 21st. And then, so he comes in to do business. This is my schedule. I've got naughty kids and I got good kids and I got to schedule you in. Okay, here's the time. And then I said, what are you doing for the parade? Are you our city parade Santa? Because obviously you're the real deal. He said, no, I've got other business going on right now that night. Then the city emails everyone the next day and says, we don't have a Santa anymore for our parade. And I said, well, shit.
I might know a guy.
I might know a guy.
He's jolly.
He's jolly.
He has all the gear.
He has the gear and the bag. And at this point, I was just walking in the parade alone. Literally. My entry was a walking entry. I was only going to walk alone. And I said, okay, well, let them know who Santa really is and see if they're willing to take the real deal. So they took my real deal. And I said, well, now what am I going to do for my walking entry? And then the truth is, one of my friends contacted me and said, I have a Krampus costume. That's traditional in line with the Saint Nick. So it's the Saint Nick traditional Krampus. Can I do a meet and greet like Santa's doing? Sure. I'm walking in the parade alone. Would you like to walk with me? Sure. I said, great. I'll put an ad out to my page followers. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Somehow the algorithm went, we're gonna
it did.
So but why didn't people, I don't understand. Why didn't, in that conversation, and I know it did, and I know that some people came to kind of to participate and say, hey, this was, this is part of the story. If you believe in St. Nicholas' history of who St. Nicholas was, I mean, he was, he was a man that lived alone out in the woods he
was a crazy old man.
Like Norwegian, right?
He was a crazy old man who broke into people's houses at night. When you really think about it, that's what he did. Yeah. He was a habitual criminal.
But I guess what I'm getting at is Krampus is part of that same...
it's all the folklore.
Thank you.
It's all, intertwined. Right. And you can pick and choose if you want to, but you don't really get to complain that the bit you picked isn't the same as the bit somebody else picked. Okay. Yep. You don't get to do that. You don't, that's silly. What I think is cool, though, is on your page, there's photos of Krampus and Santa together, living it up like they are bros.
We went to Colorado Boy last Saturday.
Yeah.
And that was just
together with Santa?
Yeah. I myself, my roommate, and Santa and Krampus. And those two were like, I couldn't keep myself from laughing and the whole night. Those two are just hysterical. Yeah.
And it was great. I actually missed you. I missed Krampus in the parade because it was so understated.
And that was how it was scheduled from the beginning.
And I didn't think about it too much. And I was expecting at least a vehicle and something or other. You snuck by without even being noticed by most people.
It really is, because I entered in November.
Right.
I did the parade last year with a trailer, and I was just like, I don't want to do any of that. It's a lot of work. I just want to enter and I'll walk.
Yep.
I asked my friends, and one by one, something came up. No big deal. So then this opportunity came. Great. My brain is thinking, I know Krampus. I was raised with my parents, Krampus, St. Nick. Here's all this history, different cultures, different countries. Mm-hmm. I'm sure other people are educated.
Krampus Schlump. Isn't that what it's called? Krampus Schlump?
I don't have a clue
that's the
how
night.
You pronounce it.
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure. I'm surprised.
Krampus snot is what I say.
I was thinking.
I'm pretty sure Rob is just going to have a blast with me.
Well, immediately
pronouncing it correct.
I was thinking about when we were talking about Red One and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It made me think of The Office. Right?
Yeah.
You remember that episode with Dwight?
Yeah.
And he's what's it called? Belschnickel. Right?
Belschnickel.
And he's basically a Krampus type character.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so ingrained in popular culture, just like witchcraft and that kind of thing. Yep. People, I don't like this, but I like that. You go, that's okay. You know why it's okay? Because that is freedom.
That's right.
Press the button. Freedom.
You were so entertained by this being an option today.
I know,
you don't he doesn't like the sound buttons.
No.
But he told me, he was like,
until I decide what goes on the button.
That's basically what it was. Yeah. And he had to have two things. He had to have, you need freedom.
American freedom and
then you need
our freedom.
And it had to be two different things. It had to be two different things.
Yeah. But I think what you did is great. And I think it's great. It adds to the diversity that we have in this community. It has educated some people. It's annoyed some people.
True.
That's their choice. That's okay. But I think the more, it's better to know and to have more than be isolated and say, no, we just like this one thing.
But I don't want people to end this episode today without them understanding you have a great experience in your shop. And what I really liked, about what you said is if you guys go check it out, and you should, you're going to have whatever experience you bring to it. And so if you have a negativity about it, you're probably going to have a negative experience. Yeah. But if you kind of go in open and curious, you might be like pleasantly surprised at some of the things that you find, or, when you get to talk to Claire, you're really fun to talk to. So I want to say that for sure.
Thank you.
And I've had a great experience when I went in there. I was excited to tell my daughter that you do tarot card readings. I wanted to leave with one more thing as we start to wrap this up. Yeah. Only because time limit. Hour goes by fast.
When you're having fun.
Right. Yeah. So vision sphere.
Yes. Crystal ball.
Versus snow globe.
I thought the vision sphere was that place in Vegas.
Okay.
Oh, the big one? You're talking about like the screen? Ooh.
The sphere?
Yeah.
I hate it when I make a joke.
Did you just interrupt the guest?
You're like 6'4" and my jokes still go over your head. Okay. Difference between a vision sphere and a crystal ball.
Snow globe.
No, snow globe.
Oh, snow globe. Okay.
Okay. So you can scry, which is seeing visions through meditation and unfocusing or focusing on something. So let me put it this way, because I'm clairvoyant. I can see visions with crystal balls, with snow globes, or even with the tarot cards as a divination tool. I do Uno card readings.
Really?
I'll throw. That's one thing I want to get scheduled in. If there's,
I want to do an Uno card reading with Rob.
It's 2024.
Yeah.
Of course, she does Uno card readings.
Yeah.
I should always carry a reverse card in my pocket.
I was just about to use that. You beat me to it.
I'm wanting to get on a live stream, Facebook, whatever. And if I have downtime, just start throwing the Uno cards.
Maybe we should do. Maybe we should do a
tool.
live stream from the witch shop.
We'll do it
with Uno cards.
Live stream Uno card reading.
Yeah. Can we do that?
Like, how fun is that going to be?
I think it'd be great. We definitely got to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Claire, before we part.
Can I have another beer?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you know what?
If you can tell me who it's from.
I'm not clairvoyant myself, but I had a feeling you were going to say that.
No, you didn't.
Pomona
Brewing. Thank you, Pomona Brewing.
Brewery.
And what was the type of beer?
All I can say is beer.
The Dusty Amber.
Dusty Amber beer from Pomona Brewing.
Shout out to them.
Shout out friends of the show. Friends of the show.
Great beer. Thank you so much, Pomona.
Friend of the show. Yeah. Love you guys, Kevin and Chelsea. You're awesome, and thank you.
All right.
Sorry,
I've been jingling my bells. Bells, yeah.
So 2 questions. First question, you've got to challenge somebody else to come on the show.
I sure will.
All right. So who would you like to challenge?
You got to
look directly in the camera.
Address them directly.
Address them. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now that you have
You're still looking at me. You got to look over there.
I don't know.
All right. Well, you can think about that while you answer question 2.
A lot of the people that I would want to see on your show.
All right,
we've already had them.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question 2, and then we'll come back to question 1.
Let me think.
Okay. So question 2, what is your favorite spot for the witching hour? Was going to be my question. Like, where do you like to be? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a store or a bar or a restaurant or whatever. Is there like
what's the witching hour to you?
Well, you said 12 o'clock, like midnight.
Yeah,
but
I prefer being in my damn bed, sleeping.
In a full moon.
Yeah.
Like, where would you go in Montrose to check out the full moon?
Oh, up Hogback.
Hogback?
Yeah, where the soccer fields are.
Hogback is also known to the relatively new people to town as Sunset Mesa, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Hogback, if you've been here a while. Sunset Mesa, if you're quite new.
Yeah. I thought for sure you were going to pick that spot, and I thought that you were going to be a little bit more specific.
Oh, you must be clairvoyant too.
Because there's a trail that goes past the cemetery.
Yes.
And around to the front kind of edge or south-facing edge and there's a bench there.
Yes, and unfortunately, I think
It
they have
is.
that
It's on the other side of a fence
of
now.
the fence now.
Oh,
They
really?
fenced it
Yeah.
off.
Oh,
that
no.
was
They
a
did.
beautiful place to
Yeah.
go.
That would have been the perfect spot to sit
Yeah.
there and check out a full.
One of my
just-
friends, who shall
Yeah.
remain unnamed
Yeah.
because it's kind of weird to me,
Okay.
went on a first date to that bench.
Oh, really?
The views are great,
They're fantastic.
but you take a first date to a cemetery, it's going to work or it's not going to work. You know what I mean?
That's true.
well, you're not, and that's not really in the cemetery. At least it wasn't. I guess it's at the edge of the cemetery.
I have
But
been
it's
to that.
beautiful.
I've
It is
been to
beautiful.
that cemetery several times. Ridden
Yeah.
my bike around there because it's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
And not at all. Well, I go in the daytime, but
Yeah. It's pretty at night. It's pretty at night too. Even just going up that trail, it's pretty at night.
no, I'm scared of zombies.
Oh,
Scared of
going
zom-
up there just to
Scared
view
of
the
zombies.
stars on a darker
Yeah.
moon.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, and you get to see
Yep.
the whole town. It's gorgeous, gorgeous.
Okay.
So that's
Do
my
we,
choice.
Do we buy enough time?
Yeah. Question 1. Come on, challenge somebody. Anyone in Montrose, it doesn't matter.
They don't have to be a business.
No.
No, and it doesn't. I mean, if it doesn't have to be somebody that you know either. If there's somebody that you don't know that you're like, ooh, it'd be really interesting to hear their story.
Yeah.
I am really on the spot. I know so many people, and
Throw
Trying
a
to
name
think
out
of-
there.
okay, I'm gonna call out Jamie Garano.
Oh,
We haven't
interesting.
we
Have you
both
had her on?
No, but we know
We have
Jamie,
not.
But she hasn't been on, but we do know.
Oh no.
I have seen Jamie do stand-up comedy in Montrose.
Oh,
really?
But she did it at Silver Basin not
Yeah.
that long ago.
Yeah.
She hasn't been on. All right.
She's now a life coach,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and she's fantastic. So I'm gonna challenge her.
I did
Jamie.
I did the because she was my daughter's life coach.
Oh,
for a little
really?
while.
See?
Yeah, yeah.
So you do know
So,
her. And
yeah, I do know her. Yeah.
Bring her on.
Okay.
Yeah. Jamie
you're
Jamie had thoughts of doing her own podcast for a while, and like if when we have Jamie on, I'll have to ask her about it. She had a really great thought of that's what she said, and would have been a really good podcast. She just decided not to release it. So
Well, she was really quite good at Silver Basin doing stand-up.
doing the stand up.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie Garano, you're out there. I know you've probably seen this episode. You'll probably see this episode because we'll have to tag you in it or something along those
Yeah.
lines. But you're up.
You're up.
Jamie's up
You've been summoned.
You've been so
by the witch of Montrose.
ooh. There's
Look
consequences.
at how it works. See,
Yeah.
I didn't even have to throw ingredients into a cauldron.
Yeah.
Just look at a camera and say her name.
and it
It's
happened.
2024. You're a modern witch.
Modern witch.
You know.
I feel like there's plenty of them out there too. You never know who you're talking to, right?
This
So
is
be-
true. Have
so
you
be-
looked at the numbers?
So be nice to everybody.
You never know. Look at the numbers.
Yeah. Can we afford to play Witchy Woman on the outro to this podcast?
I don't think we can because I think it's like that's the Eagles
I
too.
know.
Of anybody that's gonna
Do we have
come
to-
after us and
Do we
not
have-
let us.
Do we have to pay if I hum it? I'm sure we do. I said the name.
You should go.
already.
You should go for it. Just go for it. I want to hear you hum it.
Nah.
Well, come
I don't
on.
want all that Clear Networks money be going to the Eagles.
Oh no, you didn't. Hey, and that, my
We're gonna-
friends,
this-
is
okay.
the end of the episode.
No, so here's the best part. Now Dennis has to figure out how to beep stuff out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
And you know what? No. He's going to, and you're going to be thinking, what are they talking about? Well, the beep was me giving away something.
Okay. All right. Claire, thank you for joining us.
Thank
We
you so much
appreciate you
for
coming and
inviting
sitting
me.
down with us.
And again, I want to put it out there that you guys came by the shop back in November,
Yeah.
and you invited me to get a date.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously,
So
obviously,
this-
you
you-
knew we would come in, and you knew we were going to ask you, right?
Yeah, but nobody knew.
No, he meant you knew we were coming in the store that day.
You know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
but nobody really. We didn't know everything was going to come to this
No.
whirlwind of.
Whirlwind, storm in a teacup.
Glitter.
Storm in
Yeah.
a teacup.
So it just worked out.
Well, it's a great.
Perfect. It wasn't planned, and that's where I emphasize that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
There's synchronicity in everything if you continue to follow your excitement. What you guys do, you love it because it excites you. What I do excites me.
Yeah.
And so that's how we connected into this synchronistic.
Serendipity.
Time to-
Yeah, I definitely
time
believe in
together.
serendipity. Yeah.
You just learned that word.
No, I didn't.
Wrap it up.
Okay. All right.
Thank
All right,
you so
everybody.
much for having me.
You-
Thanks, Claire.
we're glad to have you, and I guess we'll see you soon. We're going to do an Uno card live
Yeah,
stream reading.
let's do it. Let's do it.
We'll figure it out.
figure
All right,
it
guys.
out.
That's another episode of WKRP Montrose. We love you. We'll see you soon. 970-316-3162. If you want to call in, suggest another guest. If you want to if you want to be on the show, you'll have to call into that number and we can send you the link to book yourself.
If you want to be
show.
on the show, though, when you call in to say that you want to be on here, I'm going to have a field day with that.
Okay.
Because that's a little promotional, you know?
Come on, bring it and see if Rob can handle it. I don't know if he can. We'll find out. All right. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great holiday. Oh, I just told him it was the holidays. I've ruined the whole concept of time as a construct.
We're going to beep stuff.
We're going to beep stuff out. All right. See you guys later.